Here we go. So this is the candy cane border maker cartridge. And I wanted to show it because I wanted to show some different ideas with it. That's the whole reason I did this. So I punched it out. It goes in, the cartridge just goes right in the border maker cartridge. Like any other cartridge, you put your paper in, you know, those that have the border maker, you put your paper into the paper holder and you punch it, which I'll do in a minute. But it makes this really cool punch that looks like candy cane stripes. And here I did it on with some, I did it in red paper, and then I just took a 1-inch strip of green and backed it and made it into the edge of a border for a page. And then this is the mats from the Christmas cheer collection, which I want to talk about them as well, but they are really beautiful. And like this one, they actually have a lot that are two different, almost like two different mats that you can cut apart. And then on the back is a big mat. So I thought, oh, that's perfect because it won't take up a lot of room. So I cut it out and matted it and put it on the page. And I said, oh, look, now I still have a lot of room for pictures. But the mats are just beautiful. Here's another one where you can cut it apart or flip it over and you've got a full mat, which would make for a great title on a page. Again, there's a lot with these tags, which were really, really pretty. And then a full page, you can mat your pictures, use them as a journaling box. There's all kinds of things, but they have a bunch that are, I believe these are 4.5, I'm sorry. Yes, 4.5 by 5.5, or I'm sorry, 4.5 by 6.5. And then the smaller ones, I believe, are 4 by 6. So just they're super pretty, lots of great titles on them. And then each side is a little different. Like this, you know, it does say Merry Christmas, but then when you flip it over, there's also a Merry Christmas and a stocking. So you can cut these in half and use them as more as embellishments. So anyway, let's get back onto the candy cane punch, because that was my main focus here, was the candy cane punch. Here I took a strip of green and just added it behind that candy cane stripe. On this page, I actually did 2 of the candy cane stripes from the Border Maker cartridge and just crisscrossed them. I put one down, one across, and then added, these are embellishments from the Christmas cheer. I think it's the open house pack, actually. But just some embellishments that I popped up with a foam square. And now if you actually took these 2 borders and moved them into the page a little bit more, here and here, you can actually put a bow from the bow maker and make it look like a present. So that was another idea for this candy cane punch. And this one, which I'm going to show you how to make, this one I call my peppermint sticks. What I did was I took 2 of the candy cane stripe borders. I backed them with a strip of white paper. So I just put a 1-inch strip of white paper on the back of them. And then I took my corner rounder and just rounded the corners. So just stick each corner into your corner rounder, and that'll give it that candy cane. I'm trying to go through 2 pieces of paper here. That just gives it that candy cane rounded corner edge to it. Just gives it a really cool look. Why am I having trouble with this? I think I picked the thickest paper in my bin, so that's why. So just like I said, just round the corners and you have that candy cane, I should call it the peppermint stick look of the rounded corners. Do that, and one more. So just getting it through the 2 edges of the paper. But so now with it rounded, what I would do is I would take, and let me just put this aside so you can see what I actually did here. I took a piece of This was like a gray. This is actually from seasonal sightings last year. I took a piece of this. I knew this would make, because it's a gray with stars, it would pop out those peppermint sticks a little bit more. So I just cut it at 4 inches. And then I took a piece of green and just cut it with the wavy blade from my trimmer. So I just open this up. And when I'm trying to create this little edge that I put on my border. So I could measure it so that it goes under that whole piece of paper, but I don't like to use up paper where it's unnecessary. So what I did was I just made a wavy border at about 1 inch. So it's 1 inch wide. And then because on the wavy blade, you get a wave on both sides of your paper exactly the same. So I don't cut any more of those. I'll just put that back. And I'm just going to cut another 1 inch strip. So I don't have to waste a lot of green under it. I just really have 2 strips that I can put on the edge of my border. So what I'm going to do is put some tape. And then I just tape that 4-inch piece of gray paper to the edge of that border, just so that a little of the green is going to show on each side. And the paper I'm using is that Christmas cheer accessory pack. It's only $5 for the pack, but it's all different plaids. And the plaids are red and green and lots of blues. And the blues are so prominent that it almost doesn't look like Christmas paper. So I wanted to add a little green to my border just to make it pop out of the page. So all I'm going to do is now put this on my page. Like so. And I'm just letting a little of the blue show on the other side. And then I just take my peppermint sticks that I created and I just crisscross them so that they are kind of corner to corner on that gray area. There we go. We'll just do corner to corner. And again, on my original one, I had used one of these embellishments. I believe this was from the open house pack. So the other thing you can do for embellishments, if you need a big embellishment, is to use something from that mat pack that we were just looking at. There's so many beautiful icons and pictures in here. And there was one that I saw, this one. I just thought this one was so pretty. And it can be either way. And I thought that would look really cool in the middle. So all you have to do is just take your scissors and snip this out of the center, and then you can still use the rest of the mat under a picture to make it into a mat for one of your photos. So if I just cut this out, all I'm doing is what they call fussy cutting around the edge of this design. Just going to take a little longer, but I do this a lot with, especially if it's a saying that is a circle or an oval, I'll just pull out my circle and oval templates and cut it out. But this one I really wanted to fussy cut because I love the shape of it. So I'm just following around the edge. I'm not perfect, but I'll show you in a second how I fix my imperfection for the mat for underneath. So I'm just gonna finish cutting this out. It always takes longer when people are watching. And around these edges, I just thought this would be really pretty to use out of the center. So, and then I would take some foam squares and just to pop it out because I love foam squares and I love things. And of course I pulled out the really little ones, so it's going to take a whole lot more of those. And I don't put a foam square everywhere on mine. It's okay to have a little air in between. As long as, you know, your corners and you got one in the center, it should be fine. Just take these little backings off. But I'd love something to just pop it out and make it a little 3D. Now, one was on this side, so I'm going to do it this way on this page. Let's see. On this one, nope, it was the same way, so we're going to go the other way. I just want it to be an opposite page across from the last one. So I would put that right in the center, and there's my page. Really easy. Now for mats, I love this plaid that I just cut out of. So if I put that down on my page, let's just give it a little tape as is. Make sure I tape down where I cut, because I cut across there. Just so that when it goes down on the page, it looks nice. And then this one is the same color plaid. So I'm going to use this one. I'm not loving the tags on this, you know, unless I cut them out maybe, or cut them in half and use both. But I love that they're both the red plaid here. So what I would do is I would just take a piece of white and cut in the center, cut a piece of paper for the center of that, just to make sure that it covers up the hole that is in the center of this that I already cut out. And then nobody's going to know that it's back there. So for this one, I'm running on this tiny little desk. So this is a 6-inch mat, a 6x4 inch. So I'm just going to go down one size and make it, we'll do 373 3/4 by 5 3/4, just so that it's about a quarter of an inch smaller. Whoops, I did that definitely very, very wrong. Let's see, what size are we talking here? This should be 4 inches, so it should be 375. What am I doing wrong now? It should be 5 3/4. That's what I said, but it's not what I measured. By 3 3/4. Now that looks better. So then when I put that on, I'll still have some of the red showing. And sometimes I'll say, oh, you know what? I can show off a little bit more red. So I'll just cut it down a little bit more on each side, knowing that I'm still going to be able to cover up that hole that I created in the center. And yes, I always use the white paper from my different paper packs because it is photo safe. And then if you just put that on, you have the perfect spot for a picture later on. And then I would do that with the same, for this other one, I would mat it the same with white so that it comes out looking a lot like the one below it. Let me just grab another piece of white here. Whoops. Running low on my white paper. There we go. And you get the idea. I'm just really making it like a double mat for my pictures. So we'll do this one. 4, 5, 6 inches. The paper's curling. It was on my little stash underneath, but it was on top and it just didn't lay flat. So that's all right. So the idea is just making these mats look like double layers. They both have that same plaid look to it. Super easy peppermint page. So let me tell you what else you can do with this punch. this border maker punch after your peppermint sticks. You don't, it doesn't always have to be the candy cane. I am going to take a piece of black and put it on orange, and it's going to be perfect for a Halloween page. So this is the border maker for, I know the ladies on the call, you have this, but the border maker, you just put your paper in with the cartridge. I'm just going to punch one quick because I thought about it tonight that I really should show this as well as for other holidays, because it doesn't always have to be the a Christmas layout using this particular cartridge. So it could be any. So, and then I'm going to show you one more trick that you're going to say, oh my gosh, that's totally different than the candy cane. I'll show you that in a minute, but let's just finish this one. So the candy cane punch does punch on the edge of the paper. So if you want to cut it off to make it an actual that candy cane stripe. Actually, what I'm going to do, just because this is the Halloween page, I'm actually going to cut the other side and then show you it as a page in black. So we're just going to do this. We're going to punch it one more time. We're going to just cut. We're actually not going to cut the edge. We are going to just let this be as it is. So let me just get out the debris here. And then if I just put this down on my orange paper, like so, isn't that pretty for a Halloween page? And then I would mat my pictures in orange, and I think that would look really cool. So I just thought that was a neat way to show this border cartridge does not have to always be that candy cane stripe. It can be something else, and it definitely has that with orange and black or purple and black, it would really look very cool. So now let me blow your minds with this. Look, this is made with the candy cane punch, the candy cane border cartridge. And how I did it was I took a piece of paper, took out my trimmer with the scoring blade, put in the scoring blade, and I scored it at 1 inch. So I put my paper in and I score it at 1 inch. And watch scoring, because when I scored that, I just pressed so hard it went through. So do watch how hard you press. Okay, so it's thinner paper, so I scored it. Put that aside. To make sure it's folded well. And then I'm going to put it into my paper holder, but not all the way. I'm only going to go part of the way into the paper holder. So this is on the border. The paper. This is the border maker system. The paper guide comes out of the bottom. When you put your piece of paper in there, you know how normally we would go all the way. This is going to go about 1/4 of an inch from the edge of that on that tray. See how I didn't go all the way into the tray? It's only about 1/4 of an inch. Fold your paper guide back, and then when you punch, it's not going to go all the way through. And let me put this over so you can see. It's not going to go all the way to the very edge of your paper. It goes, the cutout holes here, the paper, when I put this into the border maker, you know, the legs of the cartridge into the paper guide, you can see that the folded edge there is not all the way to the very end of the punch. So now when I punch, Just do it carefully because you want to make sure you don't get caught on that fold. Oh, some more. Okay. I'm just going to remove all the debris before we open it up and we all go, wow. I saw this afternoon and I said, oh my gosh, perfect, because that's the border I wanted to talk about tonight. So I was so excited to see a new idea. Now, when you open it up.
Did you make this up yourself?
What's that?
Did you make this up yourself?
I did not. I saw it on somebody else's page because I scroll for ideas that I can share with you. And I saw it and I said, oh my gosh, but is that so cool? I am so excited about that. Now imagine that on your orange paper underneath. That looks really cool. Gotcha. So something totally different that you can do with that candy cane stripe that I would never have thought, and it makes the perfect chevron border for your page. So
really neat.
So you could make